In this recording, I'll be talking about conflict. I'm not going too deep into the various types of conflict. You have ethnic conflicts, cultural conflicts, military conflicts, religious conflicts, spiritual conflicts. Just understand one thing. I'll talk about conflicts among people here. Just because an argument is over, that does not mean the conflict is over. You can have an argument without a conflict. But you can't have a conflict without arguments. Because understand this. When there is a conflict, there are interests that are not in harmony with one another. And often we have two or more parties that all wants to win on the same ground. So what often happens, either they come to a compromise, or often one party outdoes the other through violence. Then the argument is over. Someone has won, the other has lost. In the case of a compromise, they are both exhausted and they both choose a portion they are dissatisfied with, but at least there's no fighting now. So when there's a compromise, does that mean there's no conflict anymore? No, the conflict is still there, but there is a temporal resolution, a status quo. If the argument is settled with a winner and a loser, the argument is settled, but it doesn't mean the conflict is gone. Okay, I'm going to give an illustration again. Let's say that you're at a workplace. There's a new guy working over there. He's quite happy often. He often socializes with people. And there are some colleagues who become annoyed and they think, who does this guy think he is? He's just came here, now he already knows everybody. He's calling people at their first name and people become offended. Now, what is the root of their offense? Is it the behavior of the new guy? No. Did the new guy violate the protocol of the company? No. Did he cause physical harm or emotional harm? No. So why are they offended? Those people over there, each one of them have their own. Each one of them has their own, I would say, legitimate pains that they don't want to deal with. But so now, and at the workplace, the workplace for them used to be a place where they would find relief from the inner conflicts inside and the conflicts in the house, with their wives or with their husbands, with relatives. Now at the workplace, some change happened. There's someone new over there that wasn't there before, so now they have to get used to the new situation. And many of them are not willingly to get used to the new situation, but they can't help it. The old situation is gone. The old situation does not exist anymore. So now they have pain because they're missing the old situation, and there's another pain they have because now they have to deal with the new situation whether they want it or not. So now they are blaming the new guy for their pains. And they're using the argument that he's talking too much as an excuse. So what happens now? They file complaints at the boss. The boss makes clear onto them that they just have to do their job because the new guy is doing an excellent. He's working excellent, so he doesn't want to hear any complaints anymore. So because they feel more pain because they feel rejected also. So now the tensions at the office, at the workplace increase. After a while, the new guy, he's not new anymore, he's working there for already 4 years. He decided to take another job because he noticed that the atmosphere is hostile. So now that guy is now gone, he has a new job somewhere else. So you might think now the whole situation is over. Now there is some relief among those former colleagues that guy that they targeted is now gone. But hold on a minute, they've projected their inner pains on that guy, and when the guy left they felt some relief, they felt less pain, but the pain was still there. All the anger and resentment they've built up past 4 years, they still have it. The guy is gone, their target is gone, but they still have all those resentment. So the argument is over because the guy's away. He has another job now. But the conflict is not over because the conflict was never about that other guy in the first place. And this is what you need to understand about conflict. Conflict of, let's say, if it's just a disharmony of interest, it can be resolved by negotiation of that. But if it's not just a disharmony of interest, if it has accusation as a root, then it will always lead to assassination of some kind. And now understand this. Such conflicts that have accusation as their root, they, even when the perpetrators of the conflict, that means those that are accusing, even when if they would die, they would pass away, the conflict will remain behind. Because the conflict over the years had consequences that the new generation will have, the next generation will have to deal with. And not only that, the conflict over the years, all the denied pain and traumas that came as a consequence of it, all that negative energy, those people will also leave behind when they pass away. So now the new generation now will inherit all those tensions. For example, that guy at the workplace, let's call him Kevin. Kevin had a new job somewhere else after 4 years. But now, those 12 other people at the previous job, they still had the resentments. And what happened? Kevin became 75 years old and he passed away. Those other people became in their 80s. One of them only became in his 50s and they all passed away, but their children and grandchildren now have all kinds of alcohol problems, all kinds of health issues, and all kinds of marriage issues also. What happens? The negative tensions, all the negative energy of their parents, who were the perpetrators against Kevin, it remained with the next generation. So now, the next generation, and also the generation afterwards, the grandchildren, they had nothing to do with the arguments against Kevin. But here's the thing, the conflict was never about Kevin in the first place. But Kevin was just a target, he was just involved unknowingly. Now, Kevin moved away, he was delivered, but those perpetrators were not. And they never wanted to acknowledge that it was their own doing for building up all that inner pain. So what did they do? They displaced the pain on their children and everyone else, and the tensions remained. So when those people died, the tensions were already on their own children. And those children did not know why they were facing the difficulties they were facing in life. What happened now? They are affected by intergenerational violence. You see, I speak about intergenerational violence often on this channel. You know why? Because a lot of people are now, let me say like this, there are a lot of people where conflicts are playing out through them and they don't understand what's going on. It's some conflict that began maybe 3 or 4 or maybe even 5 generations ago. The negativity of those people passed on, and now that negativity is now working itself out through other people. And those people don't know what's going on. It can be, for example, that there's a woman, she's 28, she's working at Starbucks. It can be that she used to have a great-grandfather and great-grandmother that used to be robbers. And they robbed a lot of people. And as a consequence, a lot of people targeted them with their pain and hurt. So those great-grandparents, they had a lot of negativity around them. And the negativity passed on to their children, and the negativity grew. Because whenever conflicts, or let me say whenever violent conflicts pass on to the next generation, it will always grow and become worse. Because now the pain that is built up with with the next generation will be added to the pains of the previous generation. So that woman at Starbucks, she's basically the fourth, or let me say fifth generation, and the conflict is working out through her. And what happens? She has this negative tension upon her, and at the workplace often, visitors come to Starbucks, but they tend to dislike her and feel bad about her. But those people cannot explain why they don't like her and why they feel awkward around her. What's happening is, those visitors that come over there, they're sensitive to energy. But they're not aware they are sensing negative energy. They're just reacting to it. But because they're not aware of what's going on, they think that whenever they react, they think that they're acting out of their free will. So whenever they feel discomfort concerning this 20-year-old woman, they think that's them not liking that woman. And now they take it personally. And now they become involved in the conflict also. And the woman of 28 years old does not understand why this is happening to her. It's a conflict of almost 160 years ago that's now playing out. Look, a lot of people, just because they can't see something with their physical eyes, they dismiss it. I'm not trying to be metaphysical in this recording. I just want to point out to you, just because you don't see something with your physical eyes does not mean that it's not there. Or let me say it better. There is a far deeper reality behind the physical reality that you can experience with your five senses. And because people are not aware of that reality out there, it is far more real than just the things you receive through your five senses. Because people are not aware of, let me say, the spirit realm, they get involved in what I would call ancient conflict without being aware of it. And because they become involved with it, they're now contributing to it. And often they're the ones that are left behind with the mess. So, this recording is a very short one. I just want to point out that conflicts, if they are not resolved, if people don't repent, it will pass on to the next generation. And often, just like that woman in Starbucks, those customers that came and didn't like her, the conflict that has arisen now, because those people are receiving that negative energy and they're reacting to it, and because they accept those feelings as if it's their own feelings, they have now a conflict. They are now in conflict also. You understand what I'm saying? Conflicts that goes on from one generation to another will increase because it will affect more people, and more people will be involved unknowingly. It's contagious. It will affect more people in the next generation. There are some of you listening to this recording now. There are many conflicts playing out towards you. I'm not saying that you are under some bondage of intergenerational violence. What it can be that the people around you have conflicts that are working out through them and affecting you. Because here's the thing. If you are someone that's delivered from darkness, you're delivered from negativity, you're free. When you are free, often malevolent entities, you can call them demons or unclean spirits or evil spirits, whatever you want to call them, those entities that have attached themselves to those people that are under generational curses, those entities will target you. Those entities will redirect the attention towards you. And now you will have people acting out against you, but those people cannot understand why, but they just don't like you or just can't stand you. Don't take it personally, take it spiritually. That's why remain in prayer at all times. That being said, all be blessed.